Newcomers to the four-wheel drive scene are routinely blown away by just how steep the terrain is that their four-wheel drive can climb. Like straight out of the factory, this patrol can virtually climb walls. Well, that's what it feels like from the inside anyway.
But tackling your first really steep hill can definitely give you the heebie-jeebies. So here are a few tips to keep you on the straight and narrow in the steep stuff. Your first step is to walk the hill. Check out the surface for traction and look for any obstacles or ruts that might get in your way. And try and pick the line that you'll take that will make it easy for your forbie.
If you can't get enough traction on your boots to walk the hill, then don't even bother trying to drive it. Whenever you want maximum traction going up steep hills, always lower your tyre pressures. I find that 16 to 18 psi is a good starting point, and that way you'll just get bucket loads more traction.
Next up, you'll need to select low range, and low range gives your four-wheel drive a mechanical advantage, allowing it to drive much slower over that rough terrain.
If you're in an auto, select drive. If you're in a manual vehicle, depending on your gearing, you might like to select first or second gear. First gear is slower, but sometimes it transfers too much torque to your wheels for the traction available, and this could result in wheel spin. If this happens, you're better off trying second gear and you'll get a touch more momentum and better traction.
All four-wheel drive's gearing ratios are different, so you'll soon work out what works best in your rig.
If you have any differential locks, lock them in now. Some vehicles have centre diff locks, while some others have aftermarket diff locks, like the ARB air locker.
Okay, so now it's time to drive. The trick to driving really steep hills is a mixture of momentum and wheel placement. Get it right and you'll sail straight to the top. Get it wrong and you'll be sitting there spinning wheels in the dust. Often newcomers to the four-wheel drive scene avoid ruts like the plague, but these can actually act sort of like train tracks on the way to the top of the hill. And often the dirt at the bottom of those ruts is nice and firm, so you can get plenty of traction. Get out of the ruts and you could slide right off the side of the track.
They might not always be the smoothest route to the top, but they're more often the easiest and the safest way.
And one last handy little tip, always keep your thumbs on the outside of the steering wheel. That way, if your steering wheel happens to get jerked out of your hands by some rocks or some deep ruts, you won't break your thumbs.